Hi you guys, it's Amanda from Healthy House on the Block. I am here this week with another tip and another way that you can create a healthier home environment and reduce toxins and create some really great healthy habits within your home. This week we are talking about low toxin and toxin free couches. I got this question from a follower on Instagram and she wanted to know what were some really affordable options for couches. A lot of times if you Google toxin free couches or something like that, you are going to get some really pricey lists, and it's difficult when you know what you would spend on a couch normally, and now you want to make a healthier choice, but it's really, really expensive. And it's a really big investment, and it's maybe even not something that you can go see in a store or look at. You need to just order it offline and hope that it is what you are looking for. So this week in the blog, I am going through how to shop for a couch, what we need to watch for, what we need to avoid, what certifications are really helpful to try and find. And so I'm going to take you through some slides in a little bit here, and we're going to just go through everything you need to know about finding a non-toxic couch or a low toxin couch, your choice, because I will say that sometimes we can't go completely toxin free. Maybe it's not in our budget. Maybe it's just something we can't find in the style that we want. And so if you have made that choice to just reduce toxins as much as possible, then finding something that's a low toxin option might be a really good fit for you. So either way, I've got links to some really affordable options. I also list some that are a little on the higher end, but they're still really nice couches, and I think they're still fairly affordable. Depending on what your price point is, I think we all are a little bit different. I'm in the Midwest, so maybe my price point is a little bit less than, say, someone on one of the coasts. I don't know. I'm just guessing. And I'm going to take you through the links are on the blog post. I have the blog post linked in the description below, so you can just go to that and then scroll down to where it has those couch options for you, and you can take a look at those and see if it's something that you would like. Otherwise, we're going to talk about why it matters to shop for a low toxin, toxin-free couch. We're going to talk about all of the chemicals that are inside couches. I think the biggest thing that we want to keep in mind, and I'll talk about this in the slides, is that we are in close proximity to our couches. So not only are we just sitting on our couch where our skin can absorb a lot of these toxins that are inside, and inside I mean from the frame to the upholstery to the foam. So that's like the three big parts of a couch or a sofa. And I'm going to go through each of those parts in these slides, and we're going to talk about the toxins in each particular one. But there's toxins in each layer of the couch. So we're sitting on it, we're absorbing it into our skin, but we're also in very close proximity to it. And so when you're in close proximity to a toxin, such as formaldehyde that off gases, you're inhaling it and breathing it in. These are both direct routes to the inside of your body, where it can affect different systems. A lot of times we see it affecting the endocrine system. This would be like your hormones. And what it can do is a lot of these toxins are mimickers of our natural hormones. And so it can either suppress hormone production, it can just kind of alter it, it can stop it completely. And so we end up with a lot of problems that are tied to our endocrine system. Thyroid problems, obesity, diabetes. These are all things that we see, reproductive problems. These are all things that come from, it's kind of like a chain effect, if you will. When one part of our body is affected, it starts to play out in other parts of our body. This is what we call, this is like the tail end of body burden. Body burden is where the toxins that are around us we can't get rid of them as fast as we come in contact with them. So they build up in our system and our body isn't able to metabolize them. And once it gets to a point where then it's negatively affecting one system in our body, it usually spills over into other systems that can also be affected, because our bodies are all, they're amazing. It functions with all of the systems together. So That's why we want to be really careful. I think also if you have kids, really consider getting a couch if you're looking for a new couch that is low toxin or non-toxic. Kids tend to spend a lot of time on the couch, whether it's playing, reading, watching a movie. They're just smaller. And so the trace amount of chemicals that we come in contact with to them is not going to be a trace amount. It's going to be a lot more. And it's going to affect their body a lot more strongly than it will ours. I think also kids tend to play on the ground. Now, from your couch, there will always be particles of dust coming off. The dust particles can contain those toxins. And when our kids are on the ground, they're playing kind of in those toxins. Also, kids have very poor hand to mouth habits. That's just how they are. And so a lot of times they can actually be ingesting those toxins as well. So I think those are the 3 big things we want to remember while we're shopping for a couch. This is why it matters. So let's head into the slides and we'll go through everything with a fine-tooth comb, and we'll get you guys on your way to shopping for a low toxin or toxin-free couch. So let's see what we need to look for and what we need to avoid when it comes to finding a healthy couch or hunting for a non-toxic couch. So when you begin your journey, there are a couple things that we want to watch for. Many of the couches that you buy just in any old store, they're going to have toxins of some kind. And we're going to start with the base of the couch, which is the frame, and go through those toxins. Generally, the frame is of some sort of metal or wood. And a lot of times they don't use solid wood or components. Instead, they use like a medium density fiberboard or a plywood or a particle board within the frame, and for the other wood pieces as well. A couple of weeks ago, I shared with you the toxins such as formaldehyde that are present in plywood, and we talked a lot about plywood. And so formaldehyde is one of those cancer-causing toxins in furniture. There's also a concern with toxins that are present in the glues and adhesives that are used in the frame of the couch. Again, the main culprit is formaldehyde, which is a cancer-causing solvent. There's also VOCs in the adhesive glues and plywoods that can pose health concerns. And one of the biggest offenders in the adhesives is phthalates, which can contribute to kidney damage, allergies, asthma, and birth defects. And then benzene is another toxin that is in many glues that can often be linked to different types of cancers and neurological issues. So now if we're going to go to the foam, this is probably one of the biggest areas of concern when it comes to our furniture, and specifically couches and sofas. The foam inside the couch may seem harmless in terms of the structure, but it's actually one of the most toxic parts of the couch. It's often made of a synthetic man-made product that is coated in flame retardants. If you missed my post earlier this fall about flame retardants, I have it linked in the blog post. Basically, flame retardants disrupt natural hormone production within our bodies. They suppress the immune system, they cause developmental delays, and they reduce neurological function in otherwise healthy individuals. And that's a lot of harm that these flame retardants are doing while we're sitting on the couch. Synthetic foam also contains polyurethane. The majority of foam cushions are made of this type of material. It's derived from petroleum. And polyurethane foam emits VOCs into the air within your home. And the VOCs are known to cause respiratory problems, damage to skin, and are a probable carcinogen. So then the last layer of the couch is our upholstery. The upholstery on the couch is far from a natural fiber oftentimes. Instead, we have like the toughest man-made materials that we can stretch over the foam and the frame to prevent any sort of wear, staining, or moisture absorption. The problem is these man-made fabrics are often treated with a formaldehyde product and PFOA products that prevent staining and spills. The formaldehyde, like we talked about, is a known carcinogen. It causes respiratory irritation. Formaldehyde is added to prevent like wrinkling to the fabric and is often embedded right into the fabric fibers. The other chemical added to the surface on couches that's PFOAs. So you might remember this in the post that I talked about Teflon. It's the same chemical. It's a known carcinogen. It contributes to increased diabetes risk, suppressed immune function, and liver toxicity. And then again, formaldehyde, like we talked about. So let's talk about our contact with these toxins. I kind of already mentioned this, but basically skin absorption is the biggest way that we're absorbing these toxins. We sit on a couch or any piece of furniture and our bodies warm the cushions and the upholstery within the sofa, and our bodies also emit moisture from our skin. This kind of creates a higher relative humidity around the furniture, and VOCs off gas at a much higher rate in warm, humid environments. And so our skin, which is our largest organ, is in direct contact with these toxins while we're sitting on the couch. Toxins like PFOAs, formaldehyde. Our skin absorbs the toxins, and it makes they make their way to our bloodstream and our organs. And some of the toxins have a really long life, and so they can actually stay in your body for years after coming in contact with it. The second way is inhalation. This is another way we come in contact with toxins. Our lungs are an organ, and the tissue in our lungs also absorbs the various toxins that we come in contact with throughout the day, not to mention when we're sitting on the couch. Any product that contains a VOC is often something that has concern for being airborne, and it's able for us to inhale. So we're in close proximity to the couch. Our faces, especially, like if you're laying on the couch or you're, leaning into the couch, our face is in close proximity to the foam and the upholstery. And that means that you can inhale even more concentrated levels of VOCs while you're on the piece of furniture. So that's the other part of this. Our bodies, warm it up, and there's more VOCs being emitted, and then we're in close proximity to this high level of VOCs. Lastly, I want to talk about kids, because children who are younger are probably at the greatest risk when it comes to the toxins that we're talking about in couches. First and foremost, they're smaller, and therefore smaller amounts of the toxin can affect them much more than an adult. And then second, they often have poor hand-to-mouth habits, and a lot of the fibers and dust from the couch ends up in their mouths. This is due to the fact that they play on the floors where the dust settles, and they often have their hands in their mouth, and then they're sitting on the couch more. So we want to try to avoid that for kiddos too. So let's talk about components of a non-toxic couch. Natural wood frame is going to be best. You want a high quality metal or an all natural wood. These options are much safer than the alternative plywood, particle board, medium density fiberboard, or plastic. Finding a non-toxic couch with the FSC certification, so that stands for Forest Stewardship Council, can ensure that the wood is from a responsibly managed forest. And then we want to find VOC-free glues and adhesives. That is basically a glue that doesn't contain formaldehyde, phthalates, or other VOCs. We want to look for VOC-free finishes. So if your non-toxic couch has exposed wood, you want to make sure that it has a VOC-free stain, varnish, or paint on it. A lot of manufacturers that specialize in non-toxic furniture use these products on a regular basis, and they'll advertise that for their product. And then the next thing is natural latex foam. So synthetic latex is something we want to avoid. Most non-toxic couch options contain a natural latex, which is made from natural rubber trees. You can get it certified by the Global Organic Latex Standard, and that ensures that the foam does not contain polyurethane and that it's made with an untreated pesticide-free product. And then we want to look for untreated, undyed upholstery. The top covering should be free from all treatments that make it like stain resistant and waterproof. And then you want to find an undyed organic wool or cotton covering. That's just going to be best. So now let's talk about certifications and labels. looking for a third-party certification and safety label is always good when you're looking for a couch. Like I said, the FSC certification requires that wood is used from responsibly managed forest. The GOTS certification, which is Global Organic Textile Standard, is another good one to look for. It requires at least 70% of the upholstery materials are in fact organic. It usually prevents flame retardants and other harmful chemicals that can be added to the upholstery. The GOLD certification, or Global Organic Latex Standard, requires that foam is free from VOCs and formaldehyde, and it doesn't use chemical flame retardants, colorants, or dyes. The other one you can look for is the OEKO Tech Standard 100. This requires low emission of VOCs and formaldehyde, and bans the use of chemical flame retardants, colorants, and dyes. Green Guard Gold is also something you can look for. It just means that the product meets low emission standards for VOCs. That includes formaldehyde. And then the last one is this label that I have listed at the bottom. The label will usually just read, the upholstery materials in this product contain no added chemical flame retardants. And so that's another option that you can look for. So I'm just going to go through these really quickly because I have the links in my blog, but these are some of the brands that I found that have non-toxic couches that, in my opinion, are very affordable. The Futon Shop, Medley, Made in Home, Burrow, Eco Sofa. Pure is a little on the higher end side, and so is Savvy Rest. So the top ones are going to be a really palatable price point. The bottom two might be a little on the high side, but they're still great products. So then, we're not getting our furniture treated. So how do we care for this non-toxic furniture? I think the first and foremost thing is get a good spot treater. If you have kids, you know that having a good non-toxic spot treater around is key when it comes to keeping your furniture nice anyways. I use thieves cleaner and then like a clean towel. I've had great results. You can find other concentrated green cleaners that do the same thing. I think you want to rotate your cushions. Some non-toxic couch picks give you the option to rotate your cushions. Some of them you can't. Some you can flip over. Some you can move to a different spot. But moving them around is going to give your couch more even wear over time. Vacuum your couch cushions regularly underneath the couch cushions just to get dust and dander and dirt up, and it'll protect it from dust mites. And then allow for ample ventilation in your space. So make sure your non-toxic couch isn't in a really humid environment. Get a lot of air flowing through there. Open windows, use ceiling fans. Just keep it a fairly dry and positive indoor air environment. And then last, you can get organic protective covers. If you're worried about your couch getting stained or ruined, just get something that you can stretch over the couch. You can also have them custom made, but just make sure that it's from a natural material. All right, you guys, so that is everything that is going to be really pertinent when it comes to finding a toxin-free couch or a low toxin couch. If you guys have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is info@healthyhouseontheblock.com. You can email me. You can head to one of my social media channels. I'm primarily on Instagram and Facebook. And you can message me on there, and I can answer your questions and get you the information that you need. So I hope you guys have a good week. I will be back next time with another tip on how to create a healthy home environment and how to reduce toxins in your space.